Hear me, O seekers of wisdom, for I am Thoth, the keeper of mysteries, the scribe of the gods, the revealer of hidden truths. I have walked the halls of time, inscribed the laws of reality upon the fabric of the cosmos, and watched as civilizations rise and fall upon the fulcrum of knowledge and ignorance. I am the voice that speaks beyond the veil of illusion, calling the worthy to awaken, calling you to awaken. I have seen this cycle before. I have watched as men traded wisdom for comfort, as seekers abandoned truth for the fleeting pleasure of certainty. I have witnessed empires consumed not by fire and war, but by a far greater corruption, the enslavement of the mind, the surrender of perception to those who shape illusion. And now, in this age, I return, for the peril is great, and the veil has thickened. You stand upon the precipice, and I ask you, will you see or will you remain blind? Will you seek the light of truth, or be led by the hand into the prison of manufactured certainty? Long ago, I revealed the timeless principle that truth is eternal, immutable, and beyond the shifting sands of perception. Yet today, certainty, once born from truth, has been severed from its source and turned into a commodity, fashioned into illusion, and sold to the unwary. This separation of certainty from truth echoes an ancient Hermetic warning. Illusion becomes reality only for those who embrace it without question. Certainty, which should arise naturally from diligent inquiry and justified wisdom, is now delivered pre-packaged, devoid of true knowledge or discernment. The foundations of wisdom crumble as the masses trade genuine understanding for fleeting emotional comfort. Consider this inversion carefully, for within it lies great peril. In the ancient Hermetic tradition, true understanding unfolds through three sacred stages. First comes knowledge, Gnosis, the sacred fruit of direct experience and disciplined inquiry. Then blossoms understanding, Sophia, through discernment, integration and contextual clarity, and finally emerges wisdom, Thelema, the right application of knowledge and understanding in alignment with cosmic harmony. Yet observe carefully, my initiates, how this sacred progression is inverted in the present era of manufactured certainty. Knowledge is discarded, for belief now emerges without genuine experience. Understanding is corrupted as perception itself becomes shaped and manipulated from without. Wisdom, the crowning glory of conscious living, is abandoned entirely, as certainty is consumed mindlessly, without discipline, discernment, or divine alignment. Thus arises the false light, the illusion mistaken for truth, shadows mistaken for reality. Just as the prisoner chained in Plato's cave sees only reflections and believes them to be reality, so too the unwise today confuse engineered conviction for the illumination of true understanding. Remember always, seeker, that the mind is the greatest treasure and the greatest vulnerability. Thrice wise is the one who guards it with diligence, yet bound indeed is the one who surrenders it to illusions created by others. When humans no longer question or justify their beliefs, they become not simply passive but actively enslaved, souls bound not by chains of iron but by the threads of false perception and cleverly crafted belief. This is an alchemical regression from mastery back into ignorance, from freedom back into dependence. Observe the manifestations clearly. In governance, perception itself becomes the highest power. Those who wield it skillfully dominate, not by wisdom or virtue, but by their mastery over narratives. Yet beware, for the sacred teachings warn against leaders who exploit the great work for selfish ends rather than the enlightenment of humanity. In the sciences, inquiry once served discovery and illumination. Now, stripped of justification, science transforms into a dogma, a system that imprisons rather than liberates minds. The divine scribe sees this as a perversion, the transformation of the tools of enlightenment into instruments of suppression. Even justice and law crumble when conviction arises from emotional certainty alone rather than careful deliberation and verifiable evidence. Such civilizations collapse into the mire of falsehood, their laws bending to serve power rather than truth. Reflect deeply upon the triadic logic that governs the seeking of truth. In a natural state, certainty emerges rightly through a sacred causal triad. Truth begets justification. Justification gives rise to genuine certainty. Without truth, there can be no legitimate certainty. Yet today this sacred triad has been perversely reversed into the reversion triad. Without justification, truth itself is obscured. Without manufactured certainty, justification is deemed unnecessary. Most dangerously of all, manufactured certainty masquerades falsely as truth itself, teaching humanity to believe, if I feel certain, it must surely be true. This inversion births an endless cycle of illusion, sustained by emotional reinforcement rather than disciplined discernment. Humanity is thus trapped within a self-sustaining shadow of its own making, seeing false certainty as reality itself. Now, initiates, consider carefully how to navigate this landscape of illusion. 3 paths present themselves clearly before you, each aligning with the great Hermetic principles. The first path, disruption, demands the courageous restoration of disciplined doubt, rigorous inquiry, and the Socratic pursuit of wisdom. This echoes the principle of polarity, countering emotional excess with intellectual rigor. Difficult indeed, yet profoundly necessary if truth is ever to reclaim her rightful place. The second path, adaptation, acknowledges that perception now rules reality, thus skillfully working within this existing current. Through subtle guidance, it invokes the principle of rhythm, gently steering humanity back toward justified knowledge and genuine understanding. This path calls for patience, subtlety, and profound skill. The third path, exploitation, is perilous yet powerful, understanding the mechanism of illusion so profoundly that one might wield it for strategic advantage. It aligns with the principle of correspondence, reflecting mastery of the microcosm and macrocosm alike. Yet heed this warning, there lies great danger. Exploitation can birth both liberation and slavery. Thus, the magus must always guard against becoming the sorcerer. Remember always, disciples of the path. True mastery lies not in ignoring illusion, but in seeing through it. Those who seek genuine wisdom must commit relentlessly to the pursuit of justified knowledge, profound understanding, and alignment with cosmic harmony. In this age where perception governs reality, the greatest weapon at your disposal is the disciplined mind, the awakened intellect able to discern shadows from truth. Hear now the wisdom recorded in my emerald tablets. To him who is bound by the chains of illusion, the shadow is real. But to him who has awakened, even the brightest illusion is but dust before the light of truth. Thus the path forward is clear. Reclaim epistemic integrity through rigorous and disciplined inquiry. Master perception carefully, skillfully, but never become enslaved by it. Guide humanity toward wisdom, not mere information or empty conviction. The stakes are high, for the struggle lies within the mind itself. Yet remember always this sacred teaching, initiates. The key to liberation has forever been held within you, waiting only to be grasped. So now, armed with this wisdom, what will you do?